It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. From the Omerta album, that's the Adrenaline Mob with a tune that just is warm and fuzzy. That's Feelin' Me, and a guy who's always feeling warm and fuzzy. It's the one, the only. It's Russel Allen. Russell, how are you, man?
Good, bro. How you doing?
Excellent, dude. Well, Russell, you are one busy guy these days. As I hear, there's 2 records coming and another one being recorded all at the same time, no?
Kinda. Yeah, I mean, the records are getting released kind of at around the same time, but they were recorded quite a few years ago.
Okay.
The Level 10 one that it was, but I'm here to talk about Adrenaline Mob, baby, because that's what's on the menu coming up next.
That's right, man. Well, let's talk about Dearly Departed, man. It's a collection, for people that don't know, it's a collection of covers and acoustic songs and songs that didn't make the previous records, from the previous sessions. Talk a little bit about the decisions that you guys have had to make, as far as leaving some of these tracks, out of the mix, like specifically the one track, from Men of Honor, Whatever Gets You Through the Night. Man, that song is definitely good enough to fit.
Well, it kind of boils down to the direction that we wanted to go with on that record. We had a decision to make whether we wanted to have more of that sort of rock kind of stuff, or more of the heavier stuff, more of the metal sounding stuff, and we kind of leaned towards that, especially with songs like Come On Get Up and Let It Go. And we just, listening to the record as a whole, we didn't know, or didn't feel it fit really. So, but we knew that it was a great track, and this was an opportunity to get that song out there to people and let them hear it. I think it's a great song. It's one of the first song we wrote for that record.
Okay.
To be honest with you. And we had started down that path, and then Dearly Departed kind of came out of that thing. We love like the Foo Fighters, and we love bands, that kind of a sound. Me and Michael Orlando do. So that's kind of how we started. And it's the album issue, as you know, when you're starting to write with somebody, and you start to get an idea of things. You don't know what's gonna happen, so you just kind of go down the road. And as we kept going, we kept on coming out with these other songs that are a little heavier, a little more in your face, for lack of a better word.
Sure.
So we kind of, leaned towards those and left this one on the sidelines.
Sure. Now with the new record, as we said, you've done quite a few covers on this one as well. Interesting covers, to say the least. They're definitely not what you would expect, especially. I mean, they're good. They're cool covers, but it's definitely not the standard stuff that everybody does.
Yeah, the covers are something that we try to take that people wouldn't normally do, or you would expect. I mean, some of them, yeah, you could say, okay, I could see those guys doing that. But the other ones, like Devil Went Down in Georgia, or we did Come Undone with Lizzie Hale on the first album. These are songs that you wouldn't expect a modern metal band to do. So that's fun. It's an opportunity for us to put our own spin on it, to sort of own the song ourselves, if you will, in that way of making it our own. And it's a challenge, but it's a lot of fun when you're with great artists, and that's what I'm lucky to be surrounded by in this band.
Sure. Now let's talk a little bit about Mike Orlando. To me, he's probably the single most underrated guitar player that's out there today. Just nobody seems to pick up on this guy's talent. I mean, people know, but they just. If you ask 100 people to name 50 guitarists, he's never on that list. Why do you think that is?
Well, a lot of it has to do, I think, with underexposure. I mean, when I first met the guy, he was just, killing it in a small little club in Staten Island in an Aussie cover band. That's how I met Mike Orlando.
Okay.
And he really, didn't have, this was about almost 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, he's done some clinic work. He had some runs over in Japan. The Japanese love the speed. They always have been. I mean, Symphony X, had a lot of success early on there because of the Yngwie legacy that's still there. They just love the speed. So he was picked up over there pretty quickly and started to get something going, but only as a guitar player. Not for any band. The Adrenaline Mob didn't exist yet. None of his other projects were really taken off. So I think it's partly because he's just never been in anything with any high profile before Adrenaline Mob. So
okay.
This band has definitely helped get his name out there a lot, and
Sure.
I'm hoping more people pick up on him, because obviously, I got involved with him because I felt, besides the playing, I just feel he's a great songwriter. So, that's what I'm looking for as a singer. I mean, the guitar players that can play are a dime a dozen, but a guitar player who's a real like a singer songwriter as well. That's a rare combination. So to me, that's what Mike's. He's the real hidden gem with Mike Orlando, is his ability to write great tunes.
Very cool.
And stuff. So, yeah, I'm here spreading the word, trying to get my boys some love out there. So.
Definitely, man. Well, no secret for the Men of Honor. You guys moved on from Mike Portnoy, and I'm not going to ask you any Portnoy questions. But how was Men of Honor received? Was it strictly received as compared to the Portnoy era or the Portnoy record, or did people just accept that it was what it was without Mike and evaluate it on its own?
Well, you're going to have two sides to that story, man. People are who's diehard fans of Mike are going to say, oh, it's not the same without him and everything. But I got to be honest with you, I was expecting a hell of a lot more backlash, not having him on the record than we got. I think that's because me and Orlando both realized that this release was going to be judged, on the merit of its music, because we wouldn't have a name like Mike Portnoy to push it out there. Unfortunately, the record industry right now is just in decline. It's in steep decline, and everybody had seen sales drop off 50+%, from their previous releases, and even the bigger bands like, Avenged Sevenfold didn't come out of the gate as strong as they did with Nightmare, and I think that. Personally, for me, I like the newer record better. That's just my personal taste. It has more of the old school sound that I like, But now it's starting to take. They're reaching their numbers, but it's a struggle out there, and so we didn't come out of the gate with as many sales as we did on Omerta. But that has a lot to sign of the times. But that being said, definitely, the record was received very well, at least in terms of the American audience and South American audience. The European audience, I don't think really got it as much, but that's because we knew we were leaning towards more of an American sound, we want this to be an American band,
sure,
first and foremost, and then we can take it anywhere else we want to, if we can just get it to happen here. So,
right.
We're all, and the cool thing about it now is that we're all local guys, I mean, I love Mike Portnoy. He's my buddy. He just came to see me in TSO for the holidays.
Okay.
It's really nice to see him and his family. I had him out to the show, and he had a great time. And, Mike's an awesome talent, but he's got so much going on, and I just wanted to give this band a real chance,
sure,
to stand on its own, and I think it's doing that. And, we're getting it done, but we're all local now, so it's great. Me and, AJ and Mike and now Eric Leinhart, we're all New York, New Jersey guys, so it's a true mob, It's a true,
right.
It's a true rock and roll mafia from the New York City area. So we're happy about that.
Excellent, man. Well, dude, with not necessarily with this record, but just with your whole overwhelming amount of music that you tend to put out, and I mean, just if you really look at it, from what I've heard, you're starting or have started a Symphony X record. You've got Adrenaline Mob. You've got the Alan Land record that came out a couple of months ago. You've got this new record for Adrenaline Mob. You're a busy guy, man. How do you balance your time to not only your time but your creativity to fit? Because these are all different sounding projects as well.
Well, I'm very versatile, so I can bounce between each thing, and I don't write everything you hear. So, and another thing too is that these were not all recorded at the same time. That's what you got to understand.
Okay.
The Frontiers projects were recorded years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so now they're just being released now for whatever reason. I have no control over that.
Right.
So they're releasing them in this window of time, and it makes me look like Superman, or in terms of working and stuff, but and makes me look like other things as well, which I don't want to mention. But the truth of the matter is, I did this stuff a while back when I had a huge gap. I had no Symphony X, I had no Adrenaline, I had nothing.
Right.
And I was just wanted to do something to keep me going, to keep me singing, keep me in shape, and things like that. And so I did these records, the Alan Lundy and the Level 10 one.
Okay.
But the truth of it is, I don't write those songs, man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The new Alan Lundy, I had a little more influence on my interpretation of things, but I don't have to have that. I don't. I'm gonna call it pressure. Because to write, I'm really hard on myself when I got to get into writing with someone or writing my own music. And, as most writers are, we're super critical of ourselves. We're more critical of ourselves than any music critic will ever be.
Right.
So because we got to live with it for the rest of our lives. So music critic or whatever, a person like that just gets the next CD.
Right.
Hey, here's this next person's life's work. Whatever. I love it. I hate it. Fuck off. And then, you know what I mean? But for us, it's like we have to be happy with it and stand behind it. So
right.
I don't have to have that kind of pressure with those types of projects, with the Alan Lundy or with Level 10 or anything else that I've done. If I guest on something, these are already written, and I don't have to do that.
Excellent.
This stuff, Adrenaline Mob and Symphony, even with the new Symphony X stuff, I'm not that a part of the writing as much as I was in the past.
Okay.
I came in and did what, Mike Romeo has a very clear picture of what he wants to do. He needs me to do my thing with melodies and stuff, but I've known, Mike's like, it's like the old marriage, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We've been together so long. I know exactly what he wants to hear and what he wants me to do. And so I recorded everything, even with the gaps, in 8 days. That's how many days it took me to record that.
Wow.
So, it's 8 days out of my life, man, inside of a year. That's like a little over a week, and last I looked, there's 52 weeks in a year, right? So,
right.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much time for me to do these recordings. But, Adrenaline Mob, though, and stuff, it was a little more of a labor of love than anything else, and that's what I'm really excited about it, because it has so much potential. I mean, Symphony X and these other things, they are what they are. They're not going to really go anywhere else. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where Adrenaline Mob, to me, just seems like it's got so much growth potential and just so much excitement about it if we could just get it off the ground. So we've been doing pretty good, and I'm excited to take the band down to Brazil in May. Okay. And we're just trying to, we're getting a great buzz on Dearly Departed, so I'm really excited about that.
Sure.
And I'm hoping that translates into some touring here in the United States, and that's what we're looking to do right now.
Very cool, man. Well, as you said, man, the new record is called Dearly Departed. Why don't you pick a track off of that one so we can give people a taste and maybe tell us a quick story about it?
Well, let me ask you first. What are your listeners like?
Man, they like everything from, they're more metal than rock guys, but it's more like Exodus, Overkill, Metallica type stuff. But
all right, well, why don't we throw them a little taste with a deeper cut? How about the Black Sabbath medley?
Okay,
you got that?
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah, throw that out there. Give a nod to all those the old school metalheads that are listening to the show, because that's what we did to our heroes. So I hope they enjoy it.
All right, well, let's check it out right now. It is the Adrenaline Mob with the Black Sabbath medley right here on your Classic Metal Show.